should I be a different person, or should I answer,
I love that.
should I answer the same or differently?
This is a different group. I have 6 groups doing
And
these, so
they're
you can
unrelated.
answer the same if that's easiest. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Oh,
All right.
Your
Cool.
insights are great. So
Yeah.
you want to, like, if one
Whether it be
person
a different
answers, you want to say, how
or,
about you?
Yeah.
I'll answer, and I'll just answer the same then.
Yeah,
That way you'll
stay
have
real
some stuff.
general in the beginning and get the specifics.
But yeah, no. So yeah, they do go to summer camps. You know, other than leadership, I think they like the activities. They like their friend groups that they go to. Their interest, and then for my youngest, Amber, she's her faith is really strong, and so she wanted to go to a Christian camp. And so those are probably kind of the 3 pillars that she was looking at.
Mm-hmm. So the kind of camps that you have sent your kids to, what types of camps have they been? I heard you say like a Christian camp, but what about for you? Have there been any other types of camps that you guys have sent them to?
It was a mix. I mean, again, just speaking upon just the last couple of years, sports was, kind of a big thing, just trying different sports to see what, I don't know, he was more inclined to maybe try out for in school. So just kind of jumping into different opportunities, sports centered. I'm thinking about, because we're involved with the church as well, so went on a mission trip. That was pretty cool, just to serve in the capacity of, figuring out like there's a big world out there, right? So within that world, how can we open perspectives for kids just to kind of, see that in a different way? So yeah, thinking about that.
Yeah. Give me a background. Like, this focus group is because you guys are trying to start a camp, or is this just like what am I allowed to know about the focus group here?
Somewhat. We're kind of just working with Furman to help out with a project that they've had going on.
Oh, okay, good.
So yeah, let me help. I'm going to jump in
The
a couple
universities?
times just since they haven't
Furman,
come this
okay.
far.
Yeah.
So remember, you're going to keep your questions super broad at first, and you did exactly right. Like, what kind of camps have you done? And then you narrow it down, and you're like, have you considered an academic camp, or what would be the blah, blah, blah. And then you go over that, and then at the very end, you tell them really exactly what we're working on and who we're working with, and then how does that sound, and what length would you expect, and those things, right? So it's your funnel. You did a good job making your funnel.
So I'm not allowed to know what.
Yeah, no, I like them to keep it like kind of general, and then
Right.
kind of bring you there, because we don't want to shape your answers.
That's
Yeah, that way. You're doing great.
That makes sense. All right. Sorry,
No, you're.
I killed you. I
you're
killed you guys
perfect.
with a bad question. Bob.
No, not at all. Never. You're perfect.
No, so so good point, David. So Ambry loves mission trips, and I think that when I look at that versus the other camps, sports camps are a good group. A big thing is this is the time where you can kind of just do anything you want, without having to get a job about it. There's no set expectation, and if you don't like it, it's totally okay. And so I think it's a chance, at least as a parent, to just say, hey, don't overthink it. If you're interested in it, just try it. If you don't like it, don't do it again. So, it's a chance to explore and get out of your comfort zone. So she did she's probably done like 6 or 7 different sports. Some she likes, some she doesn't. Dance camps, she realized she didn't want to do it anymore. Things like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And have you guys ever considered sending your kids to an actual academic camp or academic summer program?
I have. He didn't love it. I think it was like kind of we were in school and it was like summer break. So I think the one we had chosen was at a different private school just because they had offered something. And, it was intense, like as far as just kind of the portion. It was like coding, right?
Yeah.
And you try to make it as fun as possible. It's just you're really into it. And again, it was good to know, like, okay, wasn't his favorite thing, or like, so.
Yeah, that's a good question. I was actually a camp counselor for Duke Tip Camp, which is basically Duke's nerd camp. The way I would structure it with Ambry, knowing what I knew back then, is that you have to tie the academic to something fun because it's typically going to be summer, right? So math camp wasn't sitting in a classroom. It was going to play laser tag and figuring out best angles at which you could take someone, and shoot them because of their exposure and things like that, right? So just kind of taking the academics, putting it to a fun activity. And I think that the number one way to get someone into that academic camp, kind of leading you guys here, was to have friends who were doing it too. Like once a friend was involved in it, it was almost like, I don't care what it's about. Like I want to go hang out with my friends. So that was kind of like a key thing for us, and a key thing for trying to get Amber to do stuff is recruit one of her friends, right? By talking to their parent and saying, hey, does anyone want to do this too? And then that would do it. 'Cause if I asked Amber if she wanted to go to an academic camp, that would be a hard no. For the summer.
That's true.
What do you guys think drives like younger kids away from wanting to go to academic camps? Like, is it just like the intensity of it, or just like being on summer break and not wanting to be involved in like too many academic things, or what is it?
I mean, because I see it sometimes in the classroom as well. I think it's just the cognitive overload of like, you have to put so much effort within your just concentration and using your just mental ability. I think it's a lot. I mean, just for anybody, right? So I think that's just kind of the initial pushback. Like, how much effort am I having to put in, mentally to really be part of it? I think that's my gut feeling when you're asking that question.
Yeah, I think they don't want to go to school over the summer. That's what you have to kind of combat. And so they want to not do school, and you couple that with family schedules and vacations, right? So the camps that she does now typically have, again, I'm leading you guys with info here, but typically have a lot of spots that you can go to, right? So it's not just once a summer on these days. It's usually, we've got these 5 different options, and I think that flexibility, is where we kind of gravitate towards these camps that give us a chance to do our family stuff, and then the camps as a secondary. So.
And these camps that both you and your families were involved in, how did you guys like actually hear about them?
Either word of mouth, from a friend. I mean, there were a couple you've seen, even in social media. Because, I mean, it's this time of the year or some sort of like, I mean, I always look at like Atlanta's landscape as far as what's being offered, because I feel like there's some good options out there. And then, there's a lot of, just really good schools that provide summer opportunities as well. So you just kind of inquire, you just look online. I mean, I think a general search helps too.
Yeah, same, just all been word of mouth. We've never gone out seeking something, just hearing from other parents and her friends.
Mm-hmm. And regarding like skill building for camps and like what you guys want for your kids within summer programs, what would make you guys like want to send your kid to a summer program or summer camp?
Well, I mean, I'm an entrepreneur, so like I, want her to do stuff that's entrepreneurial. So I will gravitate towards sitting here to stuff that is business related, or starting something on her own, or collaborating with people. So I try not to push her, but I'll basically say yes to anything that touches those things.
I gravitate towards like a new skill. I feel like, because again, it's still young to where just try it. Like last year I put him in a rock climbing camp. I don't even rock climb, but I was like, a friend of mine, he sends his kid there and he's actually like really confident now. And I was like, okay, let's try it, let's just do it. So we just put him in there for a week and actually enjoyed it. So it's like, take a risk. I don't know.
And 2 birds with 1 stone. Why is it important for you guys to have the opportunity to give back to your kids and like allow them to build skills in summer programs?
I didn't get the opportunity when I was a kid. I don't think that those summer programs, right? I mean, you guys have so many great opportunities now. I feel like they weren't as around as much. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I had to work.
Yeah,
same.
Yeah.
So I think to your point, we have the flexibility to be able to provide that. I mean, I had to work for my parents because family labor is free labor. So it's like
good point. Immigrant family. I didn't have a choice. Yeah, maybe there were a lot of programs to know about.
I mean, and part of it now, I mean, you can only learn so much from your parents to a degree, right? Because you see them every day. And yeah, I want to teach my kid every day, but there's only a limited perspective and skills that I can truly provide. Just being honest. So it's like you send them somewhere else where other people have an expertise and a skill level. Please show us.
So regarding the wants for not only you, but what do you think that your child looks for when they're looking for like a summer program or summer camp?
Number one's gonna be who's the friend going.
That's exactly right.
Easy. And then secondary is interest, but friends is 90% of it.
Yeah, I think it's spot on. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, we'll just do that. I think that's it.
What do you think are some pros and cons about like regular summer programs? That applies to like sports and academic, any of the things that you send your kids to.
So when you say regular, is that just like the normal ones?
Yeah, just like general. This can apply to academic, sports, any type of summer program that you've like sent your kid to, like camps, anything along those lines.
I think there's a big push towards like college apps now, and so I think that people tend to overrate on what's going to look good on my resume.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you scratch that itch for parents on, hey, this will look good for your child's college resume, but also scratch the itch that the kid wants to actually do the program,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to do it. But yeah.
So Addison, that's a perfect chance to follow up, and you may have been about to. But when they say something like that, that's a real nugget, like, oh, if it's something that can help with that, you want to follow up and say, what would that look like? Would that be like a letter of rec or a da-da-da or what? And then like get them talking about that, because that's an insight you're going to use.
What would that look like?
Yeah, so okay, so a good example would be, her mission trips, right? So when she took her first one, she was like, why don't they set up Starlink and do things for TikTok or whatever? She's asking questions, so I kind of push her to do that. I actually think she did an ID project on that. So I think what it looks like is the summer camp should be a springboard to nurture some sort of like action that can happen after the camp, whether that's right away or in the next year. I think when there's a call to action, there's something that comes out of it. To me, that's a stronger camp, right? It kind of links to real life or something that they want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, given kind of what y'all are trying to accomplish within it, I don't have much insight, I guess, to that, but pertaining to your question, it's like right there.
Mm-hmm.
So what is, that's all I got.
Okay.
So for like, are you both teachers? I know that Mr. Song's here. Do you? I know that you were at the Duke program, so you might know a little bit about like what colleges look for.
Yeah, actually, I guess I do, because I'm on the board of one of them, and so so what we're looking for is when we're reading these things and interviewing kids, like, I don't want to see someone just volunteering in a hospital. Not that that's a bad thing, but you see 100 of them, right? I want to see something just a little different about, I volunteered and I got interested in, I don't know, like adult diabetes or something like that, because my family had diabetes, and so I want to learn more about nutrition, and then I want to see kind of an extension. I don't want to see them checking the box that I went to this. I went to this because of this experience. I did this. So that's kind of what I like to see. It's just that, and it's one of those things where I want to see kind of a sense of wonderment, just kind of exploring, right? So when I see someone who's just like, I'm a straight A student, I've got great SATs, and this is what I did. I don't know who that person is, right? I don't know what the background is, and so I like when they can tell a story about what they like.
That's a little bit about like some of the things that we were talking about earlier this week, how like a lot of children or kids go to summer programs or summer camps and they add that onto their application, but it's like, oh, all these other kids are doing this as well, so like what makes this special? What do you think would make a summer program that a kid would attend like special, like actually unique, and like would be able to highlight their interest on like a college application or something like that?
no, good question.
Hi, how are you? Sorry, y'all, my last meeting.
No,
was
you're
late.
perfect.
That's it.
I appreciate you coming over. They started out asking questions about summer programs you've had your kids in, and they're
Okay.
just kind of bouncing off of the
That
three.
sounds good.
I think I like programs that actually have something built to it that forces the child to think about what they want to do and not just say, here's your activities, but kind of challenge them and say, okay, here's your activities. Okay, now you've got this kind of free block with some guardrails, but your job is to do this, right? And it's going to be like, I know Amber comes to me and say, hey, they didn't tell me what to do. I'm like, that's literally what life is all about, right? So sorry, it wasn't great, but what they didn't allow you to do is sit in your room and hang out. So that's what I like.
I mean, going back to even earlier, like, is there a new skill that could be learned? The leadership opportunity, just to get out of your comfort zone. I think that's what or is it just kind of free and play, which is great, but the investment of time and everything else. I think that's kind of what the first kind of piece to like, oh, this looks very intriguing.
Well, welcome, Miss Campbell. We were just talking about we were just talking about some of the pros and cons of sending kids to like an academic camp for over the summer.
Madison, that was great. That's exactly how to do it.
Sure, listen, let's go with the I mean, I think the summer slide thing is real, right? Like, we've got data to prove that if you're not working your brain over the summer, like, it's gonna be harder to get back into the routine of school and like that productive struggle and that thinking. So now, do I also think that you need to balance some fun with some academic stuff? Absolutely. Like, you work so hard all year long at school, so you don't want to, you gotta have that downtime. So I think that's another great thing of like balancing the fun with the structure in the school as well.
Mm-hmm. And are there also any cons, like as the parents, like being the ones paying for the camp or like having to do like all the research in the camp to make sure that it's like valid or like it's good for you or something? Do you think that there's any cons to like being in the process of like signing up for the camp or anything?
I don't know why, but I think sometimes like the scheduling piece of like there's 3 really great camps all in the same like 2-day span. So I think that's one of the cons. I don't know that we have much control over that, but I do think that multiple offerings could be a great fit. Maybe people are at camp or doing this or vacation or whatever, but if it's something of value that you could offer a couple of times.
I heard you talk about how taking academic camps over the summer makes it easier to get back into the routine, and like when people don't use their brain over the summer as much, it makes it more difficult. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure. I think I think that's why one of the things that Mount Vernon started doing with like the boost camps that are right before school started to really get you ready to really think about whether it was like a math skills to make it easier for that transition to get back into school, or I think there's like a literacy or a reading one. I think that's where our kids you veg out, you hang out, you check and see what the UV is going to be. But I think that's also where you can have some social time with the camps and do math or reading or whatever it is with your friends too. Like, I think that makes it a little bit more appealing rather than your mom being like, I signed you up for math camp all the time. So, woo!
Girls, you're doing a perfect job, but this is a perfect segue then to say, like, I hear you talking about intellectual curiosity, I hear you talking about summer slide, and I heard you talk about a balance, and what you need in the summer, and then you may want to say something like, what looking good on a resume, what kind of artifacts would you love to see them come home with that could help them in the future, something like that, like you're going to lead them to your questions about what they want to bring or get home with, and then you go to the I'd have to go with this. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing great. This is their first time doing it.
I love this. Y'all are doing great.
Mr. Baton came in and gave them the best lesson, and I learned a lot. So I'm like, I'm an English teacher. This is awesome.
What are you guys doing? Are you guys different? They're asking us questions, and then you
Yeah,
guys
what
are.
are you guys doing? No
The note takers, okay, I was gonna say,
I'm
wait a
just
minute.
gonna ask what
They're
all
like
the facts
us
you want to
without the
know.
words.
I just don't know what this
Right.
means. No,
Cheese
I
and,
don't
like,
got it. I don't
water
know
or
what that
something.
means.
Well, looking on a resume, what kind of artifacts do you think is important for them to come home with?
I think it goes back to what you said about like you go through the experience, right? Or visiting the hospital, right, which is great. But then what does that lead to the next thing?
Yeah.
I think that speaks to how that experience, the initial one went, and then what are you gonna do about that now?
Yeah, or what do you not like about it?
Right.
Right? Kind of have some, things that, well, if this is not what you like, then, for me, I think it's important. It's great to know what you want, but most kids don't. So it's easier to ask what you don't like, right? So I kind of like saying if I can take some of that negative space out, then what's left is hopefully what they do like, right? So yeah, I like camps that are just well-rounded, that'll just force them to do things, that they don't want. I mean, that's obviously a balance, right? But I love it. Like her last camp, she chose 10 things that she liked out of 40, and I think they gave her maybe half of them, and then the other half they chose for her. So she had to choose, or she had to do things she didn't choose, which I think was good.
Yeah. Well, and then how much, like when they come home and they're like, I loved archery, and I'm like, didn't even know that was in your skill set.
That's exactly right.
That's funny.
Okay, and I know that we brought up a little bit about the Hill Institute program that we're working with that we're helping Furman University out with. So Furman they're in North Carolina, and they're trying to partner with the Innovation Diploma Program. We're all in ID, by the way, and to try to create like an actual academic summer program. And it's actually about entrepreneurship, so that's actually great that you're here and you know a lot about it. So have you guys ever heard about the Hill Institute? If not, we can kind of explain that to you.
I don't know. I know Furman, but
Yeah.
You got it.
Okay, well, the Hill Institute program, it's a program for over the summer that's ran by Furman, and they partnered with ID last year, like the juniors now, to create this program and kind of just like format each day out and format the criteria that they would be learning about. And it's supposed to be for people to come in and kind of experience how to become like business manager and like people who make advertisements. Does anyone know like what it's like exactly called? Like I forget like what it's called. Because I know they do advertisements and they do a lot of work with businesses.
Yeah.
Do you know the full name of the Hill Institute?
What was it
I remember it's really long. The Hill Institute for Innovation and
Okay, entrepreneurship.
And
Yeah.
so it is this entrepreneur sub-brand of Furman. They're separate but within. And so they do this with college kids all year round. They've launched like 60 businesses for these kids, and they wanted to branch out to high school. And so they came last year, and you teachers, like, you'll feel this. They were like, these two guys from Furman want to come and talk to your kids. And I'm like, when? Okay. I was like, I don't have time for that, but we'll put them in this class. And they turned out to be amazing. And we're like, oh, they match our energy. They speak our language. Like, these guys are great. And they, from that, last year's 10th graders designed a summer camp is not the right word to me. I call it a summer intensive because they have amazing partners. And in pairs, they got these companies ready to launch. They had a day of legal. And I was like, that sounds horrible. And then it's summer and you get to talk to lawyers. And then they did a day where they went to a movie studio and made a pitch. And they did all these things. But I was really worried. The kids came home and like, I was in Europe at the time and they were messaging me going, that was the greatest experience of my life. Like, and I was like, say more. But I was afraid they were going to push them so hard because it's college, and they got worked with high school kids a lot. And all of our kids that went were like, we're going to keep launching we want our business to be real, be launched. And we just had such a cool experience with them. And so Eric Cooperman is kind of their client that they're working with, and he has tasked them with kind of figuring out what's the right length for this program days-wise, and what's a price point that sounds right based on everything they're getting. It's really packed in, but they have a lot of fun, mostly in the evenings too. Does that help?
Mm-hmm. And our goal for our second year is the CEO program, which is basically very similar to the first year,
We're not
except
really going to go into that with them. Just those two objectives. you were downstairs when we talked about that. We're not talking, this is just to figure out parents' perspective on what would get them to the camp.
Okay.
Because if we don't have no first years, there's no second year program.
So regarding everything that Miss Vance just brought up about about the program and what like figuring out the budget, what do you guys think would be a good price point for this actual camp? We're actually gonna have you guys write it down and then share your answers out and not tell each other and then show all of us. So you guys
And
can
how
have
long is
sticky
the
notes.
camp?
That's what I was gonna say. You might wanna go with days first and say, if this is entrepreneur camp, what's the sweet spot that you think for days? Last year we had some really interesting back and forth about that.
Okay, yeah. So you guys can actually write down the amount of days that you think would be like suitable for a kind of academic program like this.
And is this like they live on campus, your meals are included,
Yeah.
your
You got it.
Oh yeah. So what did you guys write down and why?
I wrote 3 to 14 days and $2,000 to $9,000. Just because, yeah, I think Allison said it. I said it earlier. Is that it depends on where the family schedule is. So you get 3 days in, you fit 7. Do you even want to do 7? You know, do you want to do 14? So I think offering a wide range will kind of solve for the timing issue as well as interest level.
that is true. Like I like the see if this is even something that you're interested in like 3 days or like I'm all in, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, 14 days. Like I put 5 days and 4,500. So
I put 2 weeks for 10,000 just because it just sounds like an experience that's going to take a little bit longer. So you're committing to just a little bit longer time frame. A couple days you're just getting introduced and then you get back on it.
I also wonder if there's like as we're talking about days and all that, like I wonder if there's because I've even done this with some classes and stuff or conferences that like tune-ups like maybe every 6 weeks you do a I don't know Zoom call or like you come to campus once a month or once every 2 months or something like that. Like I wonder if there's also a way that this isn't just over at the end of your 14 or 10 days or whatever it is. Like how can you kind of keep this going and keep this momentum going into that second year?
When you say that, are you thinking meetups before camp, after, or both?
Both?
Uh-huh.
Maybe like I mean for sure like getting to know more about like the cohort that you're going to be with, like that team building if we want to partner together on an idea. Like I definitely think there's value in both.
I gotta go.
Oh, yeah, I know you did that. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate it. Yeah, we've just got a few minutes here, guys, like 5.
No, I think that's good though. I think I said that during the last group is that the big problem is connecting summers, right? So if you're, you know, like you said, if you want to have like 101 versus 201 versus 301, if your goal is to get kids to come multiple years, or is it different kids every year? Which is the goal? If the goal is to have multiple kids or different kids, then that isn't as important. But if you want them to come back, you know, they're going to come back if they become friends with the people they hang out with, and there's a structure that says, you know, every quarter, I don't know what it is, every quarter we want you to do something and present it or whatnot, or if you partner up with businesses, just some sort of thing, right, where it's, you know, they call it commitment and consistency, right? If you're committed, you're consistent with it, then you kind of want to keep on going.
For context, all 8 ID students that we sent wanted to go back. And that's why they tasked us with creating this second year program that Alexa touched on called the CEO program. And they're helping design that out now. But the main problem now is all the second years want to come back. We don't have enough first years signed up.
Gotcha.
And so that's what he's trying to figure out. Is it the price point? Is it the time? Because our kids, as you know, are all going to 3 or 4 things. And one girl said she was going to cheer camp from June to August, and maybe Harbor for 1 week. And I was like,
Oh, Amber did talk about this one.
That's
And
a
it
lot.
didn't fit with our travel schedule. That's
Yeah,
what I remember.
right, and so their schedules are so tight too, that's one of the constraints.
Yeah, to your point, you gotta offer it, I think you gotta offer it in the middle of the summer,
Yeah.
the beginning of the summer, middle, and the end, because, you know.
Which is more appealing, we've been working with the June kind of constraint from them, but is there a place for like a July sesh?
There's always, I think, a sesh, but I'm trying to think, is that when volleyball tryouts
I was
are?
gonna say, I
Yeah,
think that's when you
sports.
have to start thinking about like
Yeah.
when GHSA allows.
Yeah.
Like Dead Week is
Dead
always
Week,
4th
I
of
know.
July week,
And it's
but
4th
like
of
that's when
July,
everybody
everyone's
travels.
gone. That's exactly what we talked about last year. is that
Um,
Dead Week would be perfect if it wasn't 4th of July.
yeah. So in a perfect world, create a different Dead Week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's just do that.
We'll create our own. But I think that's another thing to consider is like, what's your using the Mount Vernon lingo design with the end in mind. Like, is the goal to have a whole bunch of 101, like let's bring in 3 different cohorts of 10 kids. Well, then let's offer it a couple of different times. But if it's like an intensive 2 weeks, I also wonder if this is high school kids, like if somehow it can be, and I don't know how this works like legally, but like how can you tie this to like Furman admissions too? Like, is this something that would get you the leg up to get in the door at Furman? Or is this like, if I've done these summer camps, is there additional scholarship money that, like, what else can draw me to that connection with Furman?
That's good, and that kind of leads to that question you're asking about what can you see that would make it so enticing you would feel like, gotta do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things you guys could suggest to Furman, like talking about the timing, is just have everybody answer which weeks can you do it at, and then you have a matrix of, okay, I've got 10 families who can do it here, I can only do 5 here, so the pricing becomes kind of dynamic, right? Where it's like, oh, we've got more kids here, so we can offer for 4,500. Less here, if you want to do it there, it's going to be 7,500, right?
Oh, that's interesting.
Right, so just kind of like, flying on Delta, right? If you want to fly somewhere in the summer on 4th of July,
you're paying.
You're going to pay out the nose, right? Versus when kids are in school. So there's a little bit of ability to do some, and that's probably beyond scope here, some pricing sensitivity.
No, that's not beyond the scope at all.
Oh, so there you go. So
right in the wheelhouse,
yeah, so pricing sensitivity is going to be based upon the time of the summer and how many people you can trust. So, yeah, and maybe you offer, hey, if you sign up for these quote weeks that are low, then the discount is, I don't know, 30% off. So somebody might be like, well, I'll just move my vacation. Right.
It'll pay for itself.
Exactly.
The other thought in thinking about timing is private schools tend to start middle of August. And there's that 2-week window where like the public school kids have gone back to school and it's like, there's really nothing to do unless you play a sport. So like maybe that's an opportunity too. I don't imagine Furman kids are back beginning of August. But if it's like, hey, you're just gonna be sitting around the house for 2 weeks straight, like this is the perfect opportunity as well. So
one really big question that we had is like, I would send my kid to this camp if, like, what would be a deciding factor that would really like solidify you wanting to send your kid here or to a camp?
If they had, or if I knew, or any of those go in place.
I mean, I think it has to be something that Riley would be interested in.
Right.
It has to be cost productive. Like it has to be worth the investment. I would also love to see like if it ties to some type of financial aid for scholarship, or is this like, could this help her get a leg into the business school? Like I don't know. Like
Start thinking about that. If one of the companies they work with is Michelin stars, what if they would write a letter of record? One of the people that they meet with would write them a letter of recommendation that could go in their college counseling book. Would that be compelling? Yeah, that's what I think too. That's huge.
Yeah, an opportunity for that.
Yeah.
And I always look at, when I look at camps or anything, it's like, is this unique? Like, if I can only do it at this camp, I will put that camp in front of every other camp.
for sure.
Right, so something super unique.
Yeah.
Only that Furman can offer, and I don't know what that is, but maybe they have
Yeah.
relationships with area businesses
That's
where,
exactly it. So they always say to us, the kids ask this question, and they meet with them every Wednesday, and virtually, and the kids always ask, like, what sets you apart? And Eric likes to say, we're not doing anything that much different than other entrepreneurial programs, but what sets us apart is us. Like we've been doing this with college kids forever. We've launched all these companies. We are incredibly fun and enthusiastic, which they are. We love them. And then I said, you're forgetting the key to me as a parent is all your partnerships. They work with BMW and Michelin and anyone in the Greenville area, they've got them pretty much. And so to me, that's a huge value add. And then the fact that in ID, we don't do entrepreneurship. That's like an added, because I think the misconception was, this is ID, we already do this, you know? And the reason they want to work with ID kids so much, I may have already said this, I hope not, is that the floor is here for them, where a high school kid doesn't necessarily speak the same language, use the same tools. You know, like that last year's group, they were like, have you guys ever done a How Might We? And they were like,
Yeah,
like,
tell me more.
We eat, sleep, and drink How Might We, yeah. And all the tools were like that, and they love it. How, it's called a How Might We, it's kind of.
how might we?
How
Yes.
might we
Yes.
create a camp that offers this, and this cost effective, the right link.
Right.
And that's kind of what, last year we didn't do focus groups. And we're like, interviews are not quite the same. This is actually a really valuable skill for them to have.
Absolutely. We do that all the time. So I tell my people.
Really?
Yeah, they come up with all these ideas, and it's like, have you talked to a
Have you
customer to
proven it?
see
Yeah.
if they actually want it?
Yes,
If they don't want it, and we can't get paid for it,
that's
we're not
exactly
going to
right.
do it. And so,
One of our themes this year is clear your assumptions.
Yeah.
So if a kid makes an assumption, like the classic one I always tell them is we had a kid who goes, well, young people don't like antiques, so we're not going to talk to them. We're going to talk to retirees. And I'm like, prove it and clear that assumption. And he came back, he goes, oh, they actually love antiques. Like that's their number one client.
yeah,
And so it's like that kind of thing. Figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's what Mr. Baton was Molly's dad was really helpful with. He said, start with a focus group, get your findings from those, and then send out a survey and see if it proves it to be right. And so I love that structure. So that's kind of new for us, for me.
yeah. And when you send out a survey, I mean, again, commitment and consistency. When parents say, if you had this, I would do it, there's something in their head that says, oh, they're doing it. I said I would do it.
Yeah,
And so I actually now have to do it.
that's
kind of like
interesting.
It is a very powerful
Yeah.
psychological thing. It's why people give free samples, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You know, oh, did you like it? Oh, if you like it, then
That's
you would
great.
normally just buy it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
Yeah.
how many times have you gotten a free sample at Costco and been like, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, right.
I need more.
Right. Exactly.
That's such a good point. We are like out of time. That just flew by. It was really interesting to hear your insights. You guys did a great job. I assume you guys did a great job. You did a phenomenal. This is beautiful. Make sure you get pictures of it.
I love
and-
this.
Yeah, that's what I said, listen for any key insights and write them down. And she did such a good job. It's the right person on that job.
You guys did good questioning too.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. You guys had
Thank you so much for your time.
Skill, like doing this is a very different skill than interviews. That's why I hope you don't mind me jumping in a couple times because I was like, oh, that's a follow-up we need right there.
Mhm.
But you're gonna get the hang of it. You're gonna be doing them next year a lot. So, yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for your time. You guys were really, really helpful.
Sure.
It was really helpful.
Cool.
It's good.
Good luck with the rest of them.
Thank you.
I'll try to recruit more middle school people.